Essentially, I want you guys to be super powerful so you can just smash everyone, you know? Like, so when people come to touch you, you're immovable, you can throw them around, and you're stable and powerful in your structure as you age, yeah? And basically, ageless power is the outcome I'm looking for you guys to all achieve, because that's the specialty of our system, is to be powerful as you age, you know? Which is what blew my mind when I met my master's master. He came from Hong Kong. He was teaching a seminar, right? And he was doing movements. He was just fucking throwing people around with ease. And he was tiny and old and small, so it didn't compute. It didn't make sense, right? So he was demonstrating a double bong sao, and he was like, "Who wants to come and feel it?" I put my hand up. I went over, put pressure on him like as hard as I could, and he just fucking launched me. He did a double bong sao, so you know bong sao. Did a double bong sao and just launched me like 3 or 4 meters. And you got to remember, I was competitive fighting. I was street fighting. I was doing security, so. You know, I'm not small now, but I wasn't small then either. I could fight. So to be thrown around by an old ass man was like, what the fuck is this, right? So I asked him, and he said it was Nimlik, which means like mind power, and chi, energy. So the combination of his energy and mind power was the main driver of his power. Because his body was obviously aging and weak, and he was smaller, but he could still fucking smash us all. Does that make sense? Cool, so that's what I want you all to have, yeah? This is the whole aim of this, so this is why I'm structuring it this way, to take you deep into the parts that do it. So the problems that we meet on the way, these are the 3 main problems. You're easily moved, you know, meaning someone can break your structure or move your body, right? We don't want that. We don't want to be easily moved. The other problem is easily rattled, meaning your emotions can be thrown around, so stress response can kick in. And that's not just in combat, that's also in life. You know, something might happen and you get angry for no reason, which depletes your power. If you haven't read Power versus Force yet, read it. That's your, or Letting Go. Actually, read Letting Go, that's a good context, and Power versus Force will go with that, because that outlines the map of consciousness that supports this, the whole system, your consciousness, yeah? So emotionally rattled, and the last one's easily dismissed, meaning you don't want to become that guy. I don't know, the guys have been training martial arts for a while. You'll know there's those guys in the gym that are like the kind of old dudes that everyone's just kind of like, oh, I'll train with them for my easy round. I need a break. You know what I mean? Or, yeah. No one's looking at you, David. And also just in life, you don't want to lose your presence and your command, which comes from a few pieces, mostly spiritual intent and a few other bits and pieces as well. So these are the 3 main problems you want to overcome with this training. Now, the way we overcome it is you basically go from being easily rattled to emotional freedom using response rewiring and perception process. Now, this essentially is the letting go technique combined with visual energy. For you guys who are getting the idea, yeah? This might be, look, this is a lot. I know it's a lot of information, but don't worry, we're going to just focus in on this today. Just one piece. So don't worry, we're not going to fucking do the whole thing today. Relax, all right? Easily moved, you combat that with structural strength. Meaning, how do you make your structure strong so you can't be moved or broken? It doesn't mean you're rigid, but it means that you're able to keep your space and stay structurally integrous, yeah? Through finding your frames, which is how do you sense from the center? How do you sense your frames from your center to create your actual structure? And to reinforce it, you don't create it, it's already there. And flow formula is using the sinking energy, the moving energy intentionally and consciously. You know how you sink the energy down, right? You also rise it through the center, you also focus it forward. So how do you use these all well so that you can be in a state of flow with structure? Does that make sense? Cool. Now the next part, easily dismissed, you want to develop powerful presence. You know, that's something my master had. He was just like, you knew he was there. You could feel him. He was so joyful and so wise and so powerful, you know, and he would smash everyone. It was crazy. It was just, it's bizarre. Like, you know, I have to show you guys some of the videos. You'll think, how the hell does this old dude do that? It doesn't make sense. So anyway, the way that we do that is through learning what I've decided to call the command compass, which is intention and understanding the levels of consciousness. How do you actually get your mind working on command where you want it to? Whether you want to be focused, whether you want to have a sense of connection or joy, because it's actually possible if you know how, right? And the second piece is the posture protocol, which is what we're working on today, which is centering. We just did it then. I did it in small pieces, but we're going to put it under pressure with partners and then inspiring. So we're going to do exercises so that you can start to integrate centering into your movements, into your punches, bong sao, tan sao, futsal, so on and so forth, but then also bring it into your sparring as well. Like, how do you bring the center into sparring? Because I was watching on Monday, and I was also asking, so, oh, who knows Tai Gong? And there was a few people like, what's a Tai Gong, you know? And you know, Mel was even saying, have you never taught these guys Tai Gong? And I'm like, I swear to God, I teach it. But I really want to embed it, because this is, centering's actually, I'd say like the essence of it, because if you have it, the center's kind of like the electricity. If you haven't turned the electricity on, the lights won't be on in the whole house, right? Cool. So where were we up to? Posture protocol, yeah. So what we just did. So any questions on that? This is what we're going to be working on. I want you all to master each piece. How to rewire your responses so you don't go into lower, stressful, freaked out, crashed out vibrations or thoughts. Perception process, so how do you work your perception so that you don't have to fight force with force because of the way you perceive it. You know, it's about how you perceive it. If I think that, oh shit, I'll borrow you guy, you know, oh, this guy's got tats, he's scary, oh shit, how am I going to come up against this? You know, like, and my body will tense if I perceive that I need it. Whereas if I perceive that I don't need it and I can perceive that I can just reach through that without force, then it's going to be easy for me to corrupt his structure and maintain mine. So it's about perception, yeah? Posture protocol, like I spoke about, how to use your sense to generate power. Command compass, how to use intention to get the right energy coming through. Frame finder, how do you connect your structure up through sensing from the center. And flow formula, how do you get your body moving in a state of flow whilst maintaining structural integrity? Make sense? Cool. Does this sound like something you guys want to develop? Okay, good. Alrighty, so coming to today's lesson.